everyone. I am your host, Jimmy Conrad, and welcome to MLSsoccer.com's special presentation of the MLS Expansion Priority Draft. And yes, I know it is still 2014, and we're in the stretch run of another exciting season in MLS. But two clubs will begin play in 2015 next year in the league. It's really exciting. We've got Orlando City SC and New York City FC, and we wanted to give them plenty of time to get some more players, any players on their team. So here's what's happening. The draft today is to help set the order in which some of these players will be acquired. There are 8 mechanisms that the 2 new teams will choose priority in. Some more notable than others, such as the MLS Super Draft and the Expansion Draft. But today, all 8 will be picked, and if we're being honest with ourselves, it could determine the fate of each club. So how's that for pressure? And not to make any mistakes whatsoever for the respective clubs, but today's picks are my special guests and head coaches. Jason Kreis from New York City FC. Let's give it up for Jason. Adrian Heath from Orlando City SC. Good to be here. Now, I know you guys don't travel alone because no head coach in MLS goes anywhere without a posse these days. Case in point, I just saw Ziggy Schmidt at the FIFA 15 launch party with 30-plus people surrounding him. It was pretty sweet. I mean, that guy rolls deep. That's what happens when you win a lot of Open Cups, I guess. So since you guys don't travel alone, I also want to introduce 2 fans that have pledged their allegiance to your clubs. 2 fans that have promised that wherever your clubs will go, they will follow. 2 fans who are going to determine who picks first today, which is a really nice way for you guys to pass on the responsibility of your team and the fate of your team to the fans. I like where you guys' head's at. So representing New York City FC, we have Tiffany Slagle, and we have Hani Hogan for Orlando City SC. Now these 2 have stuffed the envelopes. They've filled that magnificent gold drum over there, and they're guarding it closely until now to ensure that there's no funny stuff, because I'm not into funny stuff. They will now draw the card that will determine which team selects first in the priority draft. And good luck to each club, since this pick will affect the future in every possible way. Fate or free will, what are you guys into? I don't know, that might be too deep. Let's draw. Dun, dun, dun. I feel like we need some music here.
Come on, honey.
This is it. Everything changes from here, honey.
Just a lot of pressure on her.
Man. And the envelope says, oh! There you have it. Orlando City SC will select first today. So thanks again to Tiffany Slagle for NYCFC, and I wish you guys the best of luck in 2015. And Hani Hogan for Orlando City SC. And now we are finally down to business. Jason, I'm going over here to Adrian because you get to pick first.
Yeah, thank you, Hani. Well done.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun stuff over here. I put these out here because it helps me, like color by numbers. What would you like to go? What are you picking first?
We'll go with the expansion draft.
The expansion draft.
Yeah.
Nice selection. Okay, so we haven't seen a 2-team expansion draft since Portland and Vancouver did it in 2010, and this one is going to happen on December 10th. Now, I know there's a lot of fun things happening in December, but I want you to put a big red circle on your cat calendar for December 10th. It's going to be a big deal. Now, question about this.
Yep.
Why the expansion draft? Why was that, out of all the mechanisms here, why was this the one?
Well, we think we've got some really good young players. What we don't have any experience, MLS experience, and we think with the expansion draft we're going to get 1 or 2 players that will help us straight away. And it's important for us that we get some experience. Obviously, we're talking to Jason before, he's been doing this for 17 years, so he knows all the ins and outs. We're going to need as much experience as possible.
So not only were you here for the draft, you're also here to get some reconnaissance off of Jason Kreis about how to be successful in the league. I like it.
I was going to say, if anybody can, it's Jason.
That's true. That's very nice of you. Now, Jason, second in that, we get to be first in the next mechanism. What do you select?
New York City is going to go with the allocation ranking.
The allocation ranking.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Now, this is used for current U.S. men's national team players or returning MLS players. Recent examples are DeMarcus Beasley, Marco Papa, and Carlos Bocanegra. These are the recent examples, like I said, of the allocation process. My question for you now, Jason, is now that you have this number 1 slot, are you going to try to call one of your friends over in Europe that's over there like, hey, listen, we got the number 1 pick. You know you want to come back to NYCFC. It's going to be awesome. Yankee Stadium. What? You know.
I don't have that many friends.
Well, I'm just going to throw a name out there for you. Josie Altidore. I don't know. You just get him on the horn. Josie, listen. You played for one New York team. We're the real New York team.
Yeah.
That's not how it's going to work?
We do feel like there's quite a few players.
Words for you.
We do feel the same, that there's quite a few players in Europe right now that would be interesting for us to use this selection on.
That was a really nice way of saying it. I tried to bait into something else. Okay, Adrian, you're up next.
Yep, we'll go with the Super Draft.
Super Draft!
Yep.
Presented by our friends at Adidas. Okay, now we've seen some great talent acquired in the past via the Super Draft, including former #1 overall picks like Maurice Edu, Andrew Wenger, and Andrew Farrell. Now, some people write off the Super Draft as not having as much relevancy because of the growth of the youth academies. Where do you see the Super Draft fit in, and how important is it for you guys moving forward?
You've just named 3 players who are all contributing to their teams. You know, so if we can go and get somebody who can come in straight away and contribute, that'll be great for us.
Okay, and then Jason, there's a lot of good number 2s that I've picked over the years. I wrote them down, did some homework here. Darren Maddox, Darlington Nagby, Breck Shea, Brad Guzan, Chad Marshall, Taylor Twellman are all number 2 picks in the Super Draft. Being a guy that went to college for all 4 years and really seen it as a valuable step in my development because I got to be a little bit more of an adult, a stepping stone to accepting more responsibility. What kind of players are you looking at when you go into the Super Draft?
You're looking, I think, mostly you're looking for the most talented player. In my experience before, we never really focused too much on position. We just look for most talented player with the highest potential. I believe the same thing that Adrian does, that I think that there's at least 2 players out there. Certainly there's one, but we feel that there's going to be a second one as well that could contribute for the first team in the very first year. So that's what we're looking for.
Now, this is a question for both of you guys. Feel free to jump in. How much of your scouting, let's say 100% of your scouting, is devoted to Super Draft? Because, I mean, you have to pay attention to a lot of different things, both in the States and elsewhere.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that you're looking at if there's anybody out there that can contribute. You know, like Jason just said, if you look at some of the players who've gone in the later rounds, you know, I think of like Jeff Cameron, who came, you know, was it from Rhode Island or somewhere, has had a great career. So the players are out there, you know. So we've spent a lot of time. We've got a lot of people on the ground out there looking for players, and hopefully we can find somebody, most importantly, who can come in and we think they've got an upside to develop and become professionals in the league.
Okay. All right. Well, Jason, you're up. You got.
Is it my pick already?
Here.
We are going to go with the Discovery Ranking.
Discovery Ranking. So for all of you people at home, the Discovery Ranking helps decide which team has priority if 2 teams put in discovery claims on 1 player on the same day. You get the 20th pick, and in order the City SC, gets the 21st pick.
I just made a mistake.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I was looking at the wrong side.
Announced he made a mistake. I'm loving every second of this. What do you really want to do?
I think it's binding. I think it's binding.
I picked up the card. I explained it.
I flipped over my paper over there. I looked at the very last one.
So with a really bold move by Jason Kreis, he's flipping the script on everybody here. He's going to Discovery Ranking. It's a big shock, everybody I know playing at home.
Yeah, I want to be last in the draft.
Definitely no.
I'm very sorry. We wanted to go with the USL Pro.
USL Pro. Okay, I need to talk to some officials. Is that okay? Are we accepting this? Todd, are we accepting this? Todd Durbin over here. He made a mistake. Are we accepting it? I'm putting you on the spot. You're not on camera, which is awesome because
we have to live with the selections that are made. So
you have to live with the selections that are made. Jason Kreis. What's that board game called? Sorry. You got it. You're eating that one, Discovery Ranking. I apologize on that. That is. Well, you should be apologizing for me for picking the wrong pick. Adrian, it is your turn. What are you going with?
We'll go with the USL.
USL Pro.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what Jason really wanted. MLS clubs are given priority ranking when signing players from USL or NASL. Latest example of that, or one of the biggest examples, the Seattle Sounders used priority to sign Osvaldo Alonso from the Charleston Battery in January 2009. So this could prove to be very valuable. Plus, you guys have been in USL Pro for a number of years, so you have a pretty good idea what talent's out there.
Yeah, you look at Luke Mulholland, who's gone to Salt Lake, contributed massively for them this year. So there's 1 or 2 players down there that we think maybe could help us moving forward.
Don't beat yourself up.
I'm beating myself up so bad.
Number 2, there's guys out there. All right, you're up first. You want to check your list?
I'm checking it again, going, wait a second. Yeah, we're going to go with the Waiver Reentry.
Waiver Reentry Draft. This one has a special place in my heart since I was part of the first one. This is used for waived players and for the reentry. That was a tough one for me. We use for waived players and also for players that are out of contract or who have had their option declined. Being a first part of that, it was really interesting for me because you could then shop yourself around to different teams to find out what your market value was. And I think you guys are in an advantageous situation because you can say, hey, you might want to go to Seattle, but if you come to us, not only we might get some playing time, we might be able to offer you a little bit more. So I think this is a good one for you. So you should try to make you feel better about yourself.
Let me see. Have we got 2 left?
We got 2 left. Lottery ranking and designated player ranking.
We'll take the lottery.
Lottery ranking.
Yeah.
Okay, for everybody that is not in the know, when a player from the U.S. or Canadian youth national team signs with MLS, the lottery ranking gives teams the opportunity to try and acquire him. Examples include Benji Hoya from Chicago Fire. So it's another one where you can identify a young player.
I think we're at the bottom of the list, though, aren't we, for that?
You're on the bottom of the list. I was trying to gloss that over, but it still could be valuable.
Yes.
But you're not last, right?
Okay, yeah, okay.
This guy. All right, and last but not least, you got the designated player ranking. Goes to you guys, for everybody watching at home. The designated player ranking comes into play when 2 MLS clubs wish to negotiate with the same player, not including returning U.S. men's national team players of a certain threshold, and that certain threshold is a player that almost as good as me when I used to play. So Jermaine Jones is a recent example of that. All right, this will actually be a nice card to play kind of last minute if 2 other teams are battling it out and you're like, I'm number 1 and I'm going to do the same bid and we're going to steal them and that'll be awesome. So, guys, I'm going to ask you both the same question. So Chicago Fire, the only team in expansion history, maybe in all of American sports, to win 2 trophies in their first season in 1998. Bob Bradley was the coach. Peter Cech was the captain. Is that something you think you can replicate now, the way that MLS is set up currently?
I think your aspiration always has to be that, for sure. First and foremost, your goal is to make the playoffs. Once you get the playoffs, you can anything's there for you.
2008 MLS Cup.
I do think it's...
That's right, you guys snuck in 8th spot.
09's we won. 09's we won. Now you made a mistake. No, it's. I think it's like I said. I think we aim for that. We achieve for that. But it's difficult. We know it's difficult. Since that year, there's only been 1 expansion team that's made the playoffs back with Seattle. So we know it's a difficult road.
Adrian?
Yeah, same.
Question for you. I mean, you want to have those expectations, but you also want to temper with reality.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that we want to be competitive from day one. I'm sure that Jason's the same. We want to try and make the playoffs because, like Jason said, anything can happen once you make the playoffs, but it's proved difficult for a lot of teams. We think the fact that we've had a team for the last few years and we've got a few pieces already will help us, but we know it's going to be difficult, but that's certainly what we're aiming for.
Okay. Well, there you guys have it. We have come to the conclusion of the 2015/2014/right now MLS expansion priority draft. And whom did you guys think did better? Is Orlando City better positioned for instant success? Or can Jason Kreis sprinkle some of his magic he used when he coached Real Salt Lake on NYCFC and become the first expansion team, like I mentioned, to win the trophy since the Chicago Fire in 1998? Well, don't look at me. I don't know. That's for all of you guys watching to decide. I'm just the messenger in all this. I want to thank our 2 diehard fans that showed up, Tiffany Slagle and Hani Hogan, for their participation. All the hardworking people here at MLSsoccer.com who are making me look a lot better than I deserve to be. And I finally want to wish you guys, both you coaches, the best of luck in 2015 as you embark on the historical first steps of their involvement in Major League Soccer in New York City and Orlando, respectively. Also, expansion draft happening December 10th. Make sure you check that out. Guys?
Thanks, Jim.
That was awesome.
Thanks,
that was a lot of fun. The 20th year of the league is going to be amazing. 2015. Check it out. Thanks for watching.